Is it on? Is it just a black screen? Oh. I think so. Just maybe go in there and test if we have audio. I wonder if it's just going to be me talking and not you talking. Anybody? Hello? Steven, you talk now. Dang it! Well, you just get to listen to me and look at Steven's face. This process is not fun for me. Trying to figure out, I have latency in my ears too, so I'm just listening to myself, trying to talk over myself. Is anybody even in here? I think we have three people. What's up? He said Kevin is here. Okay. You want to just like live stream watching us troubleshoot how to do this? I'm in OBS. Who can help us? Someone help us! Okay, this. Okay, no? That? What if I just do this? Just chaotic now. This is really bad. It's just a hot mess now. It looks like we should know what we're doing. I have no idea how to use OBS. Okay, live chat. Let's see. Okay, well, Steven's in the chat. Braxton's in the other room talking here. All right, well, scene. Okay, scene C200. Does that work? No. Is it just a black screen now? I'm panicking, Steven. What? Yeah. No, it's the NDI source. Yeah. Zoom call. Okay. But then it's just a screen share. This is brutal. If the 5 of you that are sticking in there and watching us, thanks. What a hot mess. Video capture device. Yeah, if I just put myself on here. I just like put you on the screen with me, and then I'll just dictate everything you're saying. Jimmy Fallon's co-host. Oh, you'll just be the co-host of this without audio? Yeah, I don't know if this is going to work. You're just going to feed me questions. Well, maybe I just FaceTime with you and you just feed me questions. We should probably just restart the stream. What do we think? Restart the stream? Oh, that'd be kind of funny. Vaguely your audio comes through my FaceTime. I keep having to remember no one can hear what you're saying. I'm just dictating everything. I'm just wandering through this software. I don't know what I'm even trying to do right now. If someone who knows OBS is watching this, they're just laughing, I'm sure. Oh. No one can hear Steven stumbling, just everybody watching me struggle. See, like, what is this? I just did a tutorial on how to do a Zoom call on OBS, and it's just a million screens of OBS and me just on a live stream. Just a hot mess. Good gravy. Yeah, NDI source is what I downloaded. That's what this screen is. But all it is just a screen recording. So I'm going to just exit out of that. NDI video monitor, NDI virtual input. And this is our Zoom meeting. So there's that. Too bad Mike isn't here to help this. He's just watching us struggle. Yeah. Just okay. We're getting some people in the comments like encouraging us. Like, hey, way to go, guys. You're sort of doing it. You morons, you're sort of doing it. I could see your face. I could hear Eric. Can't hear Steven. See him on a tiny little Zoom screen. That's about it. So, good work. You know what's going to be easier? When Steven's in Chicago and we don't have to do this. Oh, man. Okay. All right, what should we do, Steven? All right, everybody, I'm going to listen to what Steven has to say. But you can't hear him. Okay, what do I do? I don't know. Oh, that's like, yeah, my personal brand. The LUTs for my personal brand are coming in October or November. Hold on. Let me try to get, if we're going to do me, let's just have my whole face on the stream. But why is it not showing my whole face now? No. This and then make it smaller. This go away. This. Okay. How about that? Did that work? Is it just my full face now? Or is it still my screen? Ben says, do stand up. Do the Bob Saget impression. Danny Tanner. All right. I refuse to give that impression during Benj's, what was it? What is that app? Clubhouse. During his... No, it's your thing, he said. Okay. I don't understand why it's still showing my screen. Hello? I don't know what is going on anymore, Steven. No audio now. Okay, audio back? You can hear me now? Hey. All right. Steven's just going to feed me questions. If you're just tuning in, I'm so sorry that you had to deal with all that. I have latency in my ears, so if you hear me talking all jumbled, that's why. We're just gonna rough it now. Just go and just pretend Steven's here. Hey, it's me, Eric. I'm here. Steven's in my ears. I can see him, but he's gonna feed me the questions you guys had on Instagram and the questions that you had for me on my personal page. We just wanted to answer questions on this live stream hangout. I'm so sorry that Steven isn't here to enjoy it with you. Can I hear you now? Hello? Okay, yeah, I can hear you. I can hear Steven. Every time you tell a joke or want me to tell them something, you just let me know, Steven, and I will tell them. Well, what if I want FaceTime me? You FaceTime me. Get rid of the Zoom call. I think that's the latency. I think that's our latency issue. So Steven's going to Zoom end meeting for all. And I still have latency. Fun. Okay, well, Steven is going to FaceTime me. This is the jankiest thing. Da-da-ding, ding, 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 ding. I can't see you at all. Poor connection. Oh!
You know what? Hang on. Let me...
Hey!
Actually, I'll call you back from the laptop so I can have my phone out for questions.
Call back for the laptop. Have phone out for the questions. Sick. Okay, well. Now we wait. Okay. Ding 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 ding. Ding 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 ding. Ding 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 ding. That's how we start all of our FaceTimes. Dun 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 dun.
Okay, connecting again. Oh my word. Okay.
Oh, now your latency's in my ears. That's fun.
Hear me.
I hear you twice and me twice.
You hear both of us twice. Excellent.
And I'm staring at you and me 2 times on my screen.
Americans. That's awesome.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever done.
It feels like we're doing like it actually feels like we're doing stand up, but I'm like
Steven, I'm just gonna hold you up the whole time.
Okay, perfect. Here we go. We're
Okay, yeah. This is the most Eric thing in the world.
This is it. This is how we're doing it now. I love it.
Okay. Yep. All right.
Okay.
They could see us. All right, let me just move everything closer so they can see you. Okay. Don't push everything off the desk. You could still see like my autofocus on my C200. I didn't figure out how to do that. Okay. We're going to just move this closer. Like there.
You can still see like my autofocus on my C200. I didn't figure out how to do that.
Now there's a delay on your end going. Turn your audio off. Turn it off.
I'm gonna mute myself over here.
Okay, please.
Okay.
All right, Steven's going to feed me questions, and we're going to do this thing. Oh my, what a hot mess. We're going to leave this for people to view later, and just, what's the timestamp? Okay, live stream actually starts at 15 minutes.
There we go. Okay. Got it. Done. Good. Wow.
Yep.
Okay. Here we go. We're doing it.
Okay, we're doing it. Hey, wait, let me get Braxton here. Braxton! Maybe we can like put you on a stand right here.
Yes.
And then
If
I
you
don't
take
have...
your AirPods out, they should hear me, right? And just play it through your phone?
It is right now.
Oh, it is currently.
And I'm listening to... Yeah, so take my AirPod out, okay?
It would take both of them out.
Yep. All right.
Right? And then you have one, you'll hear me through
Yes.
the phone.
Yeah, now I don't have latency. Okay, great. Okay. Wow.
Perfect.
I'm dumb. Okay. All right.
Wait, this is, okay, I'm not gonna lie, it actually looks extremely cute seeing you hold me in your hand on...
Hey, guys.
It is so ridiculous.
All right. Before everyone leaves, let's just start answering questions.
Okay.
Okay, let me get Braxton real quick. Last thing. Steven, you hold down the fort.
Boom.
Wait.
Am I...
I don't know if I can.
This is the fort?
Just like leave you right here. Okay. 1 second. Let me get Braxton. Okay. Hold on. Braxton, can you help me with something? Oh, he is. Okay, we're live, and this is how we're ended up doing it. So I have me here and Steven here, and I just need to make sure that Steven is here without me having to hold him. So if you could find something that could get Steven close to the mic and standing, just maybe grab a stand. Could you help too? You were in the other room watching this happen. Okay. Oh wow, Steven has a guitar. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, that's so out of tune. I can entertain in the intro.
Yes, please. Play loud. Steven's gonna entertain in the interim.
And it's just gonna be me tuning my guitar.
Dang it.
Alright, everyone, this one's called Wonderwall.
No, please, no. Turn down the brightness on here. Okay, Gene and Braxton are finding, you see them back there? They're finding something to hold Steven up. Oh, wow, they found a solution. It's happening. Michael's like, good thing you guys are filmmakers. Yes. The boys are hooking it up. Okay, so tripod with a iPhone stand. This is amazing.
Y'all could not get the other setup to work?
No, I was such a hot mess. Okay.
The tripod is so good.
It's like, is it a really hard tripod to like get the legs?
This is so convoluted.
We are 20 minutes into this live stream.
So I just answered all of them. Yeah.
Eric just really does not want to do his Bob Saget impression.
No,
Which is why we're doing all
I
of this.
do not like doing the
Yeah.
Bob Saget impression.
Per Ben's request.
Yeah, it was. Kyle Zito says hi, Gene. Hi, Gene.
What's up, dude? Oh my god, I'm sweating, dude. I'm nervous for you. I'm sweating right now.
What is up with
I
this
don't
tripod
know.
legs?
What is wrong with? Oh, here we go.
Okay.
This one needs to be tighter.
All right. We're almost there.
Oh, this one.
Oh my gosh, there's like 20. I think that might be too tall.
And too tall.
I mean, that accurate.
No.
That's perfect.
That's good. All right, let's get it.
Move it.
We got to get it close to the microphone.
We probably can turn the gain up on the microphone too.
Okay,
So it'll
this
pick up better?
here. Okay, and then tighten this thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Is your phone tight?
turn it. Oh! Okay.
We're good.
Why is this leg isn't all the way out?
It's not.
One of them.
This one. There we go. We're gonna say that was the leg she did.
All right, we're gonna just share this mic,
Can it get
Steven.
any tighter?
I think. Hold on.
There we go.
Is it tight now?
Except,
Your phone locked.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Face ID.
Oh my
I'm
god.
just here to catch it.
Oh, everybody knows my passcode now.
Is that good?
Everybody knows your face now.
Hey! Like this? Okay, guys, let us know if you can hear Steven. Okay,
then just-
put the guitar away now and just talk.
Excellent.
Stop this.
Time to talk, baby.
Yeah.
Little elevator music in the intro. Okay.
I'll pull
How
it
we
up on
doing?
my phone and see if I can hear him.
All right.
Yeah?
Yeah, just get your
Check,
face
check,
like
1, 2.
towards the middle of the screen more. Because there's not very much real estate.
What do you say? Go towards screen more?
Yeah. And then like down, like tilt your phone up so we don't see the top of your head.
You can hear Steven good.
You know, we need to make sure that this looks really professional. All right, Steven? All right.
This is a valuable lesson in creative problem solving.
Thank you, guys.
right now.
Thank you.
I'm not even going to lie. This is kind of great.
You just get to see us problem solve on the fly. And
This is problem solving.
okay, well, can you guys hear him is the question.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Rally Caps, a podcast for creative dummies looking to build a business for the long haul.
All right, so if you're just tuning in, this is our hot mess of a setup because we couldn't figure out how to do Zoom inside of a live stream. So hopefully it was entertaining if you've been here the whole time. In the meantime, we're going to now open up to questions that you guys asked on Instagram. And also, if you want to ask any questions live in the chat, we'd be happy to answer them there too. So let's hit it, Steven.
Let's freaking go. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Rally Caps, our very first time live streaming a podcast, if that wasn't already evident in how it's gone so far.
It's gone
We're gonna
great.
talk about a lot of really good stuff. We're excited about it, and we're just going to jump right in. So, first off, this is actually one of my favorite questions that got asked from Zach. When are we going to invite Danny Gevirtz back onto the show?
Ooh, get Danny Gevirtz back on the show. At this point, that's like our most viewed episode on YouTube, I think, because Danny's just so freaking popular and amazing and cool. We have had ideas about going out to Maui and going and hanging out with him. So if we do that, that will probably happen again. We'll probably do another episode with him. But
Definitely.
I even tossed out the idea to Music Bed, who might be the first sponsor of our podcast. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I tossed out the idea to them. Wow, I'm just realizing now that that would be great because if they sponsored that episode too, that would work really well. Where we would go out to Maui and hang with Danny, and we could film some YouTube videos. We could do a sponsored video on my channel. They could do a sponsored episode, all that good stuff. So
Yeah.
that's a very real possibility. So, yeah.
For sure. Yeah, that would be, I mean, an absolute blast. I think we'll figure out a way to pull that off at some point. Little Music Bed family of people, of content creators. Fantastic. Jacob, a different Jacob.
Different
asks,
Jacob.
Favorite running shorts.
Favorite, you go first. Favorite running shorts, Steven.
Favorite running shorts. I technically only own one pair of running shorts, so they are definitely my favorite pair of running shorts. And they are just Brooks. I don't even know the name of them. They're just a pair of, like, I think it's a 5-inch Brooks running short
shorts.
with a liner that I hate very much. I do not like this liner in particular, at least. It's very uncomfortable. But
Yeah.
that's all there is about that. Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite shorts are, I have these New Balance 3-inch shorts, and they're neon green because they show off the thighs. And yeah, I mean, if you're gonna be real about running, let's be honest, you need 3-inch shorts. You need to have the shortest short possible to show that you got the swag and that you're a bad boy, you know. And you got to have your AirPods in, listening to Dad Strides, if you're really gonna take running seriously. So that's a long-winded answer. I'm trying to get you all set up correctly. Yeah.
Eric, follow-up question to that.
Yeah.
How many miles a week do you need to run to own 3-inch running shorts?
If you want to run in 3-inch running shorts, you need to be clocking at least 12 miles a week. At least. So 4 3-mile runs, 3 4-mile runs, 2 6 mile. I mean, I'm just doing math problems now.
1 12-mile run.
Yeah, so 3-inch shorts are the bomb. I like Saucony shorts too. I think that's enough of that question.
Nice. Great. No, I love it. We're just diving deep. Let's see. we'll do something more in the, let's say, the creative realm.
Anna is here. TJ's here. What's up? What's up?
Welcome. I can't believe y'all are here. This is very fun. Okay. Another podcast-related question. Pod gear, program, and services that we use to make rally caps happen.
This is a Steven question, so I'm like really just gonna SM7B right to the iPhone.
Right into the iPhone? Okay. I'll explain some of the back-end stuff. So as far as services are concerned, we use Zencast to distribute the show. We upload it once there, and then Zencast pushes it to all of the like podcatchers like Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Pocket Casts and Google and all that stuff. So we upload the audio versions there. We obviously use YouTube for the video version of the show. And then we also use Premiere Pro and Adobe Audition for the editing of the video version of Rally Caps, and then Audition to just edit the audio stems and then export that as the audio file only. So Zencast, Premiere Pro, Audition. As far as gear is concerned, this setup right here, this is a Rode Pod mic, fantastic beginner level podcasting mic. I run that into I don't know why I'm talking into it. It's not even plugged in. I'm not even using it right now. Pod mic into a cloud lifter to boost the signal into a Scarlett 2i2 audio interface.
Say it again. I'm typing everything out so that they can read it.
Oh, excellent. Oh, so they can read it?
Yeah. Wait.
That's
great. You have your Rode Pod mic through Cloud Lifter.
Cloud Lifter into the Scarlett 2i2, which is like a very entry level, just like desktop interface. So that all together, roughly, I think, if you want to get into podcasting, you could spend about $300, $300 to $400 on all three of those things. And that's a fantastic home setup. Great way to get started. It sounds awesome, and it doesn't totally break the bank.
So your video setup too, though. You record your video and your audio separately?
I do. Yep. So all of that is recorded. That's a good call. I record all the audio from the pod mic into the Cloud Lifter into the interface through GarageBand on my iMac, and then I record my video separately on a Canon R6. And thanks to Colin, I now manually focus at the beginning of the episodes. I think that's it. And then I've got like a Godox VL150 light with like a softbox on it just to light myself during the video portion, obviously.
And the Atomos Ninja, so you don't have to stop recording.
Correct.
Into the Atomos Ninja. Sweet. My setup is, so that's Steven's talking about the technical things with process of editing and that stuff. My recording end, I have a C200, which I have going right now, and I can just do this Shure SM7B. So I'm just gonna write it out. Eric is a Shure SM. Oh, sweet. Do you have the live stream? Oh, you'll just comment. Yeah, so I have the Shure SM7B, which is like a super popular YouTube podcast kind of microphone that everyone's always asking about. Like, what mic is that? And it's like a kind of an industry standard because of how freaking good it sounds. You can hear it right now. It's so good. But I also run mine through a Cloud Lifter. It's just a blue little box, and you need 2 XLR cords. And then I just run my out right into the C200. So my video file, my audio file are just baked together. And since we do it remotely, I just send that one file to Steven, and then he's able to put that into the edit as well, which is super nice. But once we're in person together and we're in literally this room when we're filming, we'll just have the C200, and we can put both of our mics into the camera because the C200 has a 2 input option. So
yes.
Yeah.
I think this is a great question, and we do want to actually make proper videos about it.
Yeah.
Once I am in Chicago, and we'll cover the setups that we used to start the show and all of this in depth, but then also an updated in-person setup like Eric's talking about, where it's just a lot easier. 1 camera, 2 microphones directly in. It makes the editing process a whole lot easier. You don't have to sync as much stuff as much stuff up afterwards. So we're going to do a ton of more in-depth video guides on all these things.
If you can do us a favor right now, guys, too, to get this in front of more eyes that we're doing the live stream, if you could just like the video, that helps push it a bit more. And then maybe they'll just come in and be upset with how stupid the quality is and have a good laugh. So if you're watching and enjoying, if you could do us a favor and just hit that like button, that'd be really helpful. Thank you. Yeah, let's hit that next question. How about it, Steven?
Let's hit that next question. Awesome. Wait, I need to get like a screen capture moment of both of us laughing to post on Instagram later, because this looks hysterical. Okay, cool. So next question. Let's move on to a question from Shotmaker Media. Best way to not get ghosted when quoting weddings.
Oh, and a lot of these, if they're wedding specific, based on, you know, like our specific realm of work, I'm just going to try to apply it to, or we're just going to try to apply it to business in general, creative business in general. And the question, let me clarify, Stephen, it was how to follow up if you've been ghosted.
Yeah, best way to just not get ghosted at all. So yeah, I think a lot of it would have to do with
best way to
following up, presenting yourself. What's that?
Best way to not get ghosted. Okay, yeah. So
when quoting weddings, yeah.
Okay, so when you're quoting anything, any kind of job, whether it's weddings or commercial or whatever, any kind of client that inquires on your website and then you follow up, I think immediately, at least personally, this is my belief, like immediately give expectations of pricing, whatever that is, and what you offer. At least a realm of something, like having a PDF or something that shows you that you've thought about this and that you have set prices and you're not just quoting them something random. If it is needed to be that way, where like it totally depends on what they need, then I would immediately try to set up a call as quick as possible. And this is all dependent on how much work you need. Because if you're overwhelmed with the amount of work you're doing, you're fine with people ghosting you every once in a while if it doesn't, you know, if you have enough work. But if you're like really in need of work and want to be booking things, then what I recommend is on your inquiry form, wherever that is on your site, you have specific questions that allow you to reach out to these people as soon as possible. So asking for their email, asking for their phone number, and even maybe putting on your contact form, like, if giving your phone number, you're like allowing me to either text or call after you've filled out the email. So I have friends who actually have set texts that they send to inquiries. So as soon as they roll into the inbox, they're like, hey, immediately, they don't even send a PDF pricing sheet or anything right away. They just immediately go, hey, thank you so much for inquiring for my services. I would love to chat with you as soon as possible so that you can just like hear me out and hear what I offer. And the turnover rate from that I've heard is just, I've never actually done that. But I know that from hearing other people who do this, like their turnover rate is incredible and they like never get ghosted from doing that. Because if someone's interested and excited about potentially working with you, the sooner you are to them being excited about that and getting to talk to them immediately after that is the most likely way you're going to book something, especially if they're shopping around. Because if there's someone who is shopping around and they're likely to ghost you, you being the first one to respond is most likely going to be one of their top choices. So I think that's the biggest piece of advice I have. Do you have anything to add to that, Stephen?
No, just want to completely plus one that. I think that was the biggest thing that I noticed in the early stages of my business as well. I would often just send an email response pretty promptly, but I wouldn't get like a phone call on the books necessarily. And I think just like starting by saying, hey, when are you free to talk? I think getting your voice and your personality in the mix as soon as possible makes a really significant difference in actually convincing them and explaining to them why they should hire you. And also just kind of like, I think it's like, it humanizes you, obviously. Like, it's not just like, oh, this person that I've sent a couple messages to, and like, I don't really care if I just drop that and go with this other person. Like, it feels a little more connected, I think, once you actually just get your voice and your personality in there. So the first thing I always say in email responses is just like, hey, like, do you have time tomorrow or the following day for like a 15-minute follow-up just to like chat through your wedding, and just so I can get a better understanding of what you're looking for. I think that just makes it a whole lot more convincing. So
Yup.
yeah, basically exactly what Eric said. So yeah, love these questions. These are great.
Yo, I was going to post on Twitter that we're live, and then I also want to post on my YouTube channel that we're live over on Rally Caps as well. So
I'll post it on the Rally Caps Twitter as well.
let's do that. If you're not following us on Twitter, feel free to follow us on Twitter. Twitter's fun. What are we on Twitter? Rally Caps Pod, at Rally Caps Pod.
At Rally Caps Pod, yeah.
Epic. But yeah, Steven, how about you go ahead and take the next question? Maybe just read the next question and answer it.
Awesome.
While I
Sounds
do this?
great. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's go. What do we got here? This is a pretty fun one. Carrie asked, our friend and our recent guest, Carrie Carlquist. You should go check out her episode if you haven't already. Carrie asked a couple of great questions. We're probably going to answer all of them, but one of my favorite was, who would you buy a full spread of tacos for in order to get them onto the show? Fantastic. A lot of names come to mind. Full spread. I also actually have a question for Carrie as to what a full spread of tacos means. How many tacos is that? But I think off top, the person I would be most interested in talking with at this point would be, I don't know. Like I know we've said like Matt Diavella, and we've thrown out some names in those spaces.
Yeah.
Like those are out. That's like some of our dream guests. I honestly think this is like a more low-key one, but I'd love to like talk with, I don't know if anyone here watches The Nerd Writer. It's one of my favorite YouTube channels. Amazing video essays. Evan is just a phenomenal thinker and communicator, and I think he'd be really interesting to like sit down and like have a meal with and actually just talk to, because every single one of his video essays are so moving and so well done, and they've really inspired the way that I like to make films as well. So I think actually, yeah, Evan from The Nerd Writer would be my answer for that one.
Epic.
Yeah.
I don't know at this point. That's really hard for me. It's been tough for me with like inspiration because we've talked to so many people I've wanted to talk to like for so long. There's just I would love to get Colin and Samir some tacos and just chat with them. That would be very epic.
Yeah.
So yeah, some of our other ones like Ali Abdal we wanted to chat with, so that would be huge. And Matt Diavella would be very fun. We also have been wanting to, we've just like, I think we basically said, we talked about taking a break for a while, but I think we said once Steven's here and we can be more intentional about pitching guests, it could be awesome to have Catherine Manning. She used to be the content bug. And yeah, there's at least a dozen people where we've like wanted to pitch, or who else?
Sarah Dici also.
Sarah Dici, Captain Sinbad, who said he listens to us, which is very exciting. So hopefully we could, I don't know, like obviously this is like impossible, but to have Casey Neistat on would be absolutely insane. And I don't know if it's impossible if we do the right pitch, but we would have to like drain our bank account to like do it.
Yeah. that would be surreal. I would not even feel remotely qualified to talk to him.
No.
That would be actually insane. But hey, sky's the limit. Let's see what happens a year from now. Which actually I feel like is, I'm just going to take one of Carrie's questions again because this kind of plays into it. But what is our dream for the show? What's our dream for Rally Caps right now?
You answer first.
Okay, cool. Eric and I have been talking a lot about this as of late, especially with the official announcement that my wife Laura and I are moving to Chicago. by the end of the summer, and we'll be there soon. And that opens up a lot of possibilities for what we are capable of doing for the show. And I keep saying show because that is kind of indicative of the route that we want to go down with Rally Caps. Is it started very much as like, this is a podcast, but now us being in person opens up so many possibilities and so many things that we can do now. And I think treating it like it is a show and providing some entertainment value, doing more bits, more segments, more live type things. Like one of our current ideas is to hopefully get an artist from Music Bed onto the show to interview and then do a live music video with them and integrate that into the show. And to do more interactive things like that show more personality and it is still very educational and beneficial to all of you who are listening and watching to it, but also have like a fun element to it. It allows us to do more things as far as pitching guests. It makes it easier for us to design merchandise together and to get all of that out and hopefully have something together by the end of the year even. And to really build Rally Caps up as a brand and a business that has a personality to it in and of itself. So I think, a podcast was very much like the beginning, like the humble beginning of it. And our spin on it at that point in time was like, let's do a podcast, but make it a video podcast. That was like our way to step it up a little bit. And now it's like, well, let's take a video podcast and make it a show and really elevate the production quality on all levels and just make this more than what we even originally set out to do with it. So we've got, a lot of hopes and dreams for this thing. And frankly, I think we're going to achieve all of those things. I think we're going to knock it out of the park. And we literally couldn't do it without all of you. Your support has been like the driving encouragement to us the entire time that this is something that we could do and do really well and do very frequently. So I think I'm just rambling.
No, you're the better person. You're the better person to talk about that because I feel like Steven has been in that headspace of trying to figure out what this is. We've even talked about like this could very well turn into like a clothing and merchandise brand, and then we have a podcast or something of that sort where it's like it becomes very meta. Or like we're a business, but we actually didn't start by coming up with a business plan and then having a podcast. Like we started with a podcast and then ended up making a business. Like that very well could be the trajectory of where it goes. Then it'll become more meta because every episode will give you guys kind of the insights and kind of just the statistics and how we're running that business, because it's very different than the existing businesses that we own. And in that, it's going to be all sorts of meta because we'll be talking about how well the podcast is performing, how well the YouTube channel is performing, like all those things, and the analytics and what kind of money we're making from YouTube, what kind of money we're making from sponsorships, what kind of money we're making from the business side that where we're selling things, So all that is very exciting, and all of that will start to be more realized once Steven's here in August and through the fall into the winter. I wanted to also answer, I saw a question way back. I don't know if you're still here, Aaron. Aaron asked best music for running: pop, EDM, rock, or metal. Oof, I'll take it first. Right now, it's just Bo Burnham Inside on repeat while I run. So, and normally I'm a weirdo. I'm a freaking weirdo. I listen to like musicals while I run. So I don't know, like.
Here comes the content.
Yeah, exactly. I like listening to Dear Evan Hansen randomly. But I'll also listen to a lot of like college jams, like indie music, like Passion Pit and who else? Rah Rah Riot and Discovery and a lot of stuff like that. What about you? What's your favorite running music, Steven?
I actually do not run with music.
Oh, psychopath.
Yeah, no, actually.
No, I used to not run with music, and now I can't handle not running with music.
It's funny. I used to be the same way about going to the gym and lifting. I could not go in there without music, and then something changed. I'm not sure what.
Something has changed within me. Something honestly, is not the same.
actually, no, you
I'm
know what it
through
is?
with playing by the rules of someone else's game. I told you I like musicals.
You do like musicals.
That is
Let's
that was
write a
wicked.
musical.
That was wicked.
Rally Caps the musical.
Rally Caps the mute. Okay, that's an idea.
All right, let's just put a pin in that real quick.
Can-
We're gonna come back to that in a sec.
We just lost a few viewers because I was singing too much. All right.
We got 40. Wow. Also, wait, real quick, Michael. Death Cab for Cutie, friggin' love them, 100%. If I did listen to music, it would be like early 2000s punk, pop punk. That is my jam, and that's what I listen to while I edit. But yeah, when I run, I did pinpoint the moment that I decided to not use headphones was actually listening to Jack Coyne talk about running on Colin and Samir's podcast, because he does not run with headphones because he just likes to use it as his time to like chill and like start the day and get some like thoughts going. And he made that sound so romantic that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try it, and now that's all I do.
Yup.
So I did stop running with my phone in my hand because that really did make me a psychopath. And Niles and Caleb convinced me to stop doing that because, they are correct in saying that you're insane if you run with your phone in your hand.
Yeah.
I remember actually, do you remember when you visited, Eric, and I hadn't gotten a running watch yet? And you're like, hey, let me hold your phone for
Let me
you
hold your phone while I pace you.
This is ridiculous.
You're like, and it was like an iPhone 8, like Max. You're just like huge. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was a frisbee. It was so ridiculous to run with. Oh my gosh.
I also wanted to just respond to some of the other comments we had here. Someone said, if I'm YouTube dad, then you're YouTube uncle, maybe. It works.
Oh my gosh, wait, that absolutely works.
Yeah.
Uncle Steven.
Uncle Steven.
Wow. Oh,
Okay.
he means more to me than you know.
Thomas is here. What up, Thomas? Tim Sauer says loves the music bed idea. That's encouraging because Tim makes insane wedding films. Awesome filmmaker. Throwback to La La Land. Oh yeah. Yeah. So my wife and I did a scene out of La La Land at the exact spot where they filmed it. If you go back far enough on my YouTube channel, you can find that. Serial Hobbyist says, love the channel, building a wedding video, a budding wedding videographer, would love some comments on marketing yourself to clients. Okay, we could love Bo Burnham and that angel voice, Eric. Okay. Maybe let's talk to on marketing yourself to clients.
Yep.
I just dropped, I'll give a little spicy tip. I made a video for my Patreon just last week where I talk about, and I have a whole class that I taught at Venture Workshop where I talk about marketing without marketing. And I think Steven and I both kind of fall in this camp of the way we market, and it's the way we've already started marketing Rally Caps, is just strictly sticking to organic. Because there are so many opportunities for you to build an audience online now with just kind of social hacking and getting creative with your thoughts and your ideas and the video production you could make to market your own brand. So for me, that was kind of realized in YouTube and building a brand on YouTube. But with that, there was just so much of giving of myself, giving of my knowledge, giving of my creativity, giving of my philosophy and emotional stuff, like all of that, I think is ultimately, and like just trying to make jokes and be funny and tell dad jokes and like not take myself too seriously. I think the combination of all those things is what made as many people that have subscribe, because it's either entertainment or it's value. And ultimately that's what we're trying to do on Rally Caps as well. And, you have to kind of, if you're in the wedding filmmaking, wedding photography world or something like that, you have to just kind of realize what that is for your clientele and what you can do to make connections and create content and put things out online that are going to be either entertaining or valuable to the people that you're trying to market to. And so, in Benj's episode, which was one of our first ever, we talked about how that phrase, comparison is the thief of joy, how true that is, and how much that can steal away from your creativity and your business and your ideas when you're constantly comparing yourself to people. There is a balance of that. You need to be healthy without comparing. But there is a healthy comparison too. Is this understanding of what your market is around you and what people are doing in your industry and in your world and what you're seeing them do that is successful. Not necessarily copying what they do, but seeing what they do, applying principles from it, and then making it your own. And in whatever capacity that is, trying to figure out what that is for you. And for me, once I figured out what that was, I took from all these sources of inspiration, and then kind of made my own voice. That's when I felt like I started seeing stuff pop off, or seeing people start to follow or subscribe more, and more work rolling in, creative portraits, photojournalistic photography, not being afraid to show emotional things on my Instagram. You know, I think all that stuff was relatable and people really resonated with it. So that's my answer.
Yep. And that's perfect. Cool. I've got nothing to add. That is exactly, we are eye to eye on that stuff. So that's perfect.
And then also if you're just joining in with us and didn't see the hot mess at the beginning of this live stream, we tried to do it through Zoom and it didn't work. So this is our setup now. Just being real with you guys. But if you're here and you're liking what you're watching, if you could like the live stream, that helps push to all of our subscribers, since YouTube doesn't always push live streams. That would be really helpful. We're going to keep going through. Braxton ordering Chipotle. Want anything? No, he's in the other room. Thanks though. I have food in the fridge. We're rolling through Instagram questions, and Steven's gonna go ahead and give us the next one.
Let's get another going. I'm sorry if I get any names wrong also. I was just reading handles, but Whit Merrick asks, what's been the most encouraging and discouraging aspects of doing rally caps?
So this is Eric from United by Blue. They sent me a lot of...
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm repping their shirt today and their mug right here. They sent me a bunch of stuff, but they were interested in potentially sponsoring our channel too. So I don't know, Eric, if you're watching this, like maybe we can just talk to your team and follow up and see. They're a very cool brand, United by Blue. Yeah, I forgot what his question was. What is this?
Most encouraging and most discouraging aspects of doing rally caps.
Most encouraging thing for me has been being able to build my relationship with Steven and hang out much more frequently, as well as just like being able to interview titans in our industry and titans on YouTube and like people who have like really done amazing things with their careers, just all of that, and the opportunities that it's brought up already, and just the excitement of what's in the future. It's all like mostly just really good things. I think the hardest part so far is it colliding with all the other things in our lives right now and how overwhelming it kind of became in the last month or two. And so, like we said in our last episode, just kind of recalibrating and resting up and getting ready for like the next season of what we're doing. So that's my answer. What's yours, Steven?
Completely agree. Again, I think this has been huge for our friendship, just like the frequency and the ideas. And honestly, in a lot of ways, I think it kind of reaffirmed the idea of moving to Chicago, like in a lot of ways. Like I think it kind of catalyzed that. And then also I feel like I've just become a much more confident person in the past 6 months through the conversations that we've had with people. It's not like I noticed it right after the episode, like, oh, I'm feeling so good about myself. But I think just over time, if you're meeting a personal hero of yours every week and you just have to talk with them, but then you realize that there's like a human being. A
normal person,
it honestly, but then also learning from them because they've done such incredible things. I have become a lot more just, I think, confident in myself, and just like as a podcaster, photographer, like business builder in general, it's been so helpful just to get in front of people and talk with them and make a friend out of a stranger. And it's been super, super cool. I mean, all the guests have been amazing, and now we talk with a lot of them regularly, which is just wild.
Yeah.
Still blows my mind every single day. And then, the flip side, I mean, the editing and post-production has been an absolute monster.
Yeah.
And once wedding season really kicked in, that's when it became like a lot to balance all at the same time. So, being in Chicago is going to solve a lot of that, I think, and then potentially hiring an editor once I'm out there as well to free up Eric and I's time even more for like advancing the future of the show. I think will be really key in making those things happen.
Yeah. Yup. Very stoked.
I think Michael is still in the chat right now, so I want to ask one of the questions you sent in.
Oh, yeah. Michael
which
Hancock?
of the two of us have? Yeah. Which of the two of us have the most pocket T-shirts?
Oh my gosh.
Between the two of us,
As I
who
wear
has
one right now.
The most? Yeah. Same.
Yeah, I think you probably have more. I feel like all mine are just United by Blue ones. Pocket tee.
There's no way I could count. I have at least this one. I know that. That is fantastic that we're both wearing one right now, though. It was funny because when that question came in, I was like, oh, like I've never really noticed like either of us like wearing an excess amount of them, and then we read the question, we're both accidentally wearing one. I'm like, oh, I guess we do have a lot of them.
I never think about the pocket on my t-shirts. That's really funny.
Do I really?
Yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and say it's a tie.
Tie. Extra innings.
Tie. Extra innings. Yeah. Okay. Eric, quick question for you.
Yeah.
Do you have any? Corey asks, do you have any thoughts on an in-person workshop anytime soon?
Corey, in-person workshop for my personal brand? No, not anytime soon. But we have officially started the process of making my online course, which is very exciting. So Steven has been taking charge on some of that, some of the design and assets. And we've just been brainstorming and like getting an action plan ready to go. So right now, I haven't publicly announced this anywhere, so Rally Caps exclusive. I'm doing my course drop for wedding photography and wedding filmmaking, 2 different courses. October 18th will be the day that they drop, and they'll be sold for an entire week, but it'll only be for that week. So that's what's happening soon. And my presets and LUTs will also be dropping around that time too. So it's going to be kind of a crazy, insane fall because Steven is going to be helping the process with a lot of that as soon as he's here. And we're probably going to be doing like live streams and vlogs that entire week, which is really exciting. So yeah, so keep an eye. In the meantime, making tons of content on YouTube and Patreon. Braxton is editing for me full time now. So our goal is to be pumping out 2 YouTube videos a week. And still remaining on the 2 to 3 Patreon videos a month. So yeah, very pumped about that. Yeah.
2 money and gear related questions as far as business is concerned.
You answered them.
I think it's me.
Yeah.
All right. Blau photograph asks, I've got some money to spend on gear. What would you recommend getting? And then they suggested a D850, a 14 to 24, a 24 to 70. Is any of that triggering you, Eric?
Is it all Nikon?
Yes.
No comment.
It depends on what you're photographing. For landscapes and travel stuff, honestly, that does sound like a pretty good kit. I think if you're shooting weddings, for the money, kind of hard to beat the Canon R6 right now. In a lot of ways, a pretty perfect wedding photography focused camera, but also just generally speaking, I think if you got 2 bodies, a 35mm and an 85, that's a pretty great place to start for photographing weddings, at least. I don't really know the equivalents in other brands. I know people like the Sony A7 series, like the A7 IV R4 or whatever, like the high resolution one. Some people like to shoot weddings with Fujifilm, like the X-T3, X-T4. I think Austin and Jenna use Fuji, right, Eric?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, their work is fantastic.
X Pro 2, X-T4, that whole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, as far as our personal experience, Eric and I are both Canon shooters, so I'd probably recommend like 2 R6s, a 35, an 85, and that you can cover pretty much anything on a wedding day at least with that. So there we go. And then Ross asks, what were your best and worst decisions / investments near the beginning of your business?
Best and worst investments.
Yeah, let's want to each do a best and worst.
Best and worst. Best and worst investments. I think one of the worst investments I had was signing up for Junebug's featured photographer, like for Illinois. So I think it was something like $1,200 for a yearly subscription. And my whole reasoning for it was like, okay, well, if this just books me one wedding, it'll be worth paying for it. I think I got 3, maybe 4 inquiries from it, and all of them were crazy low budgets that were not interested in me at all for the entire year. So that was awful. Did not like that. So that kind of, I don't know, I wasn't doing it right, I guess. I like that whole process. I also didn't I think some of them were spam, almost like the brand, like trying to make it seem like I was getting inquiries, even though I wasn't, which is unfortunate. But I've heard plenty of experiences like that as well with those kinds of platforms, like The Knot or Wedding Wire, any of those places where you can put a listing in your local area or your state, your city, and you'll get inquiries from it that end up not booking at all. That's why, again, another reason why I became such a firm believer in the whole marketing without marketing mentality, not doing the traditional sense. But I know people find a lot of success with like Facebook and Instagram marketing as well if you do it right. My best investment, I don't know. I just once I really started buying L series lenses that were prime lenses, I think those gear wise were the things that just kind of made me take things to the next level. So that was probably the best investment. I asked my mom to purchase the 35 mil 1.4 for me, and then I paid it off in 2 months. But that was huge. Yeah, that was really helpful.
Yep.
How about you?
Yeah. Dude, I mean, lenses, man, just the best investment over camera bodies for sure.
Totally. Glasses.
Undoubtedly. But I think I'm struggling on worst investment right now, so I'll start with best. I actually think, so, I mean, this is again, kind of, I guess, more wedding specific, but I think one of the things that polished my brand and business up a ton was investing in a good gallery service, like a gallery delivery service. Because, I mean, the first, temporary season of weddings that I kind of fell into, I was just using Google Drive and delivering them that way. And honestly, most of those people didn't really have any expectations higher than that. But I remember distinctly, once I decided that I wanted to actually pursue photography as a career and build a business out of it, I knew that I had to present the photos in a better way because they spent a decent amount of money. I spent a lot of time doing this, and I took a lot of great photos. So it's kind of a disservice across the board to just upload them to Dropbox or Google Drive or a service that just doesn't present them well. Yeah. So I started off on Shootproof, and then I moved to CloudSpot, and now I'm on PickTime, and I'm going to stay with them forever because they are the best. I think honestly, whatever service you choose, whatever works best for you, that is going to not only make your business feel and look more polished and give your client a better experience, but it's also most likely going to pay itself back and then also make you a profit, because most of these services have integrated stores where your clients can buy prints and buy albums and all this stuff. So if you look at it all right, say PickTime, it's a $400 a year plan. Odds are in a given year you could at least make $400 off of print sales, and so suddenly it's not even an expense. You've zeroed out on it, and the entire time you're giving your clients a great experience. and it looks great and you feel confident delivering your work. So I'd say just across the board, that's such a solid investment and one that I've found a lot of value in, and I think a lot of clients appreciate it too. And I am still struggling on worst investment. Maybe if I think of one, I'll come back.
It's
and
hard.
add it in.
Yeah.
It is.
It's like there aren't that many like risky investments you can do in our industry. I feel like it doesn't feel like most people don't take out a business loan in the way we do work. Like that's not a traditional way of going about business. Usually most people slow grow it for a long time, or at least 2 or 3 years as their kind of side hustle, and then they move to full time. So it's just not that many people go into debt, or, I don't know, maybe some people use a credit card to buy a bunch of gear and then all of a sudden they're not booking as much as they want to. I definitely don't recommend that. I think slow growth is the best way to go when it comes to most business, unless you have a really solid business plan and you have like proof of concept over time, or a proof of concept with your brand. Like for me now, me personally, I hated debt for the longest time. And now I'm starting to realize like maybe with the strong brand that I have, I could leverage debt to do a creative idea that I'm very confident would be successful. And that's where the self-awareness component comes in as well. Where I'm like, maybe I would be willing to take on another mortgage for an Airbnb property. Like that doesn't bother me too much because I now have the connections and the outlets to advertise it. So that feels like it would be a good idea, especially if I go in with partners who have equal stake, who have just as much experience in brand recognition too. Like that seems like a good bet. So that's where like I'm just growing and learning as an entrepreneur right now, and not shaking my head as much, being like, oh, debt's bad, shouldn't do debt. There's definitely a good way to go about it. So, yeah.
Completely agree. Love it.
What else? What else we got here? Joe said dibs on being the editor for Rally Caps. So I don't know. Maybe send us a DM. Maybe send us.
What up, Aaron? Also, team captains. Love to hear that.
Team captains. Well, yeah.
Shout out Aaron. I think one of our patrons over there. I think
Let's
that's where
go.
he heard that reference.
Yup. And then what else we got? Jennifer says, "Hey, what's up?"
What's up, Jennifer?
Oh
wow, I totally agree with Anna. Also, Wedding Wire was the worst. Mirrorless camera was the best. Love that.
Yep.
I honestly, yeah. I never signed up for one of those services, but I completely agree. Like the Wedding Wire, not all of that stuff. I'm like, that ain't it, personally. So, and then mirrorless camera, man, you can see in the dark with those things. You know how valuable that is at a wedding? It's amazing. It's the best. Wow. Thank you all for being here right now. This is very cool. I'm having a great time. Wow. Okay, great. Back to the questions over here. This is actually one that got asked by a couple of people. This is the most asked question, actually. What is our faith background, and how does that affect our businesses?
Yeah, this is honestly a really hard question because it pops up all the time. And for me, like I grew up in a Christian household, and I went to church, did that whole thing my whole childhood pretty much. And the past 5 years has been just really hard with me evaluating what that is for me. And so to me, as far as faith goes, I like to keep it on a personal level and keep it like between the people I see in real life. And me in college wouldn't have felt that way about it. But that's just how I feel about it now. I just don't really like talking about it online, honestly. I think for a lot of reasons, it's just like, it could be very hostile. I think people start talking over each other instead of actually like listening and feeling heartfelt about beliefs. And so that's why you'll just never hear me really talk about anything with faith or politics online. And that's just kind of where I stand. And maybe that'll change in the future, but that's just how I feel about it now. So But
Yeah.
I don't know. How do you feel, Steven?
Similarly, I mean, it's hard to talk about anything online to a certain degree, like anything that is super intimate and personal like that.
Yes.
Insofar as like, oh, it's easy for things to get misconstrued, and it's easy for things to just devolve into arguments and just I don't know, unnecessary stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But on the flip side, I'm so down to talk about that in person, face to face with people, literally all the time.
Yep.
Like that is like that like exudes out of me and out of Eric when you're like with us. But it's a totally different thing to like, I don't know, like be like a televangelist on Instagram.
Sure.
Like, I think honestly, like I have such a bad taste in my mouth because of stuff like that also, that I'm like, I don't like, that's not the vibe I want to give off.
Yeah.
For better or worse, whether that's fair or not, I think there's just a lot of misconceptions with like talking about faith and like Christianity on like a social media platform. So I don't know. I'm hesitant about that, but man, like let's grab coffee together, down to chat about it for hours on end.
Totally.
So yeah, and then sorry, go ahead.
So I will say though, like I feel like business was a very big catalyst for me to like honestly have a hard time with having community within a church, or like it's so there's something to be said about that, where it's like I'm actually kind of in a season now just like trying to reevaluate what that looks like with our family, what kind of church we want to go to now that we're in a different city now with our house and everything. So yeah, it could be really easy to focus on business instead of your personal life as well. And so my biggest challenge to everyone is like have community around you, whatever faith background or worldview, ideology you adhere to. It's just like get people in your life so that you're not just like completely stranded on what that is. Because I've come to realize that without some sort of foundational, philosophical, ideological root, spiritual faith thing in my life, it's really hard for me to know like where I'm going or what I want to do with my life or what our family wants to do with our lives, if that makes sense. Yeah.
No, totally agree. I also just want to highlight what Aaron said in the chat real quick. He's a big fan of the idea of a, quote, living testimony, living your life in such a way that reflects the ideals you uphold.
Yeah.
He also relates to finding it difficult to express faith online.
Mm-hmm.
Totally agree, man. Totally agree. I think there's a lot of ways to just, like you said, just live your life without beating people over the heads with what you think, and just allow your actions to communicate more than your words explicitly say. As far as like online is concerned, I'm happy to beat you with words in person.
Yeah.
No, that's literally the opposite of my inherent nine-ness.
Literally no way you would do that to anyone ever.
Literally never anyone ever in my life. That will never happen. But yeah, no, I thanks for the message, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. And also, I'm very transparent with the stuff I put online, but I try to be transparent about the things that are most relatable to like the most amount of people. So that's really my goal. And a lot of it has to do with economic things and business making and your family and that kind of stuff. So yeah. And what's most important to you.
Yeah. And actually, wait, real quick, just on this one also, I remembered, I was trying to think of if you and I, Eric, have talked about this in any setting, and we actually did touch on it with Niles and Caleb on their episode.
Of what?
Rally Caps. Just like faith and like
Oh.
church, Christianity,
Yep.
all that stuff. We touched on it with them. It was pretty brief, but yeah, I was just trying to think of like we've actually talked about this before,
Yeah.
and was racking my brain for that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's much more to say about it, but
Yeah.
appreciate you guys asking about it for sure.
And Nick said, thanks for being open to the question. Appreciate that, Nick. It's hard for me, honestly, it's hard for me to talk about. So I'm happy we're able to at least sort of address it. Or at least like why we don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I don't know. I think that in and of itself is super valuable to just like talk we're still talking about it, maybe not like explicit terms,
Right.
The way like a pastor would,
Sure.
Like we're talking about where we're at in our own relationships with Jesus and with church, and like how all of that is playing out in our lives. And also another benefit of being in the same physical space together, I think it's going to be a lot easier and really good for the two of us just to actually like see one another and be in literal community together and like, actually get to talk about
through
this
a
stuff
screen.
more. Yeah, because like it's so that's the thing, it's just so impersonal. If you just put a screen in the equation, it doesn't feel the same as like having that conversation with someone face to face. So that's going to be a game changer for sure. Aaron's been chatting a lot, and he also asked a question, so I want to just mention his now. Aaron, thanks for asking. What makes the most impact when it comes to attracting more commercial work?
Ooh. Fill your portfolio, like do a spec portfolio. I think that is so important. Like prove to brands that you want to do commercial work in whatever capacity you're doing it. Photo, video, copywriting, like anything that, like any commercial brand, any commercial client will need a multitude of things creatively. So you need to have a portfolio that's going to prove that you're capable of doing it. And if that means working for free, if that means working for super cheap and kind of just taking every opportunity you can to fill that portfolio, that's what you should probably do. Outside of that, something that's very, very impressive to commercial clients is pitching them well. We pitched MusicBed for our first sponsorship. We're still in talks with that, so we're going to see. I mean, it's not like we can't talk about them. They're not going to be mad about us talking about them. I hope my phone's not about to die. Oh, geez. Low battery. 20%.
Battery bank.
I have a USB right here. Hold on. But this is funny. It's the jankiest thing.
Eric, can you plug me in? I'm falling asleep over here.
All right, you're plugged in now. This is the goofiest thing on planet Earth. So what we've kind of seen success in, at least Mike and I have seen success in, is look at this setup. I'm going through the shirt. Nice. We've pitched our commercial clients with video pitches. So we've actually gotten our face on camera, and we have, oh boy, trust this device. Oh my gosh. Okay, don't look, everybody.
Don't look.
Why am I doing that? Who cares? No one's going to steal my phone. Wow, this is just...
It's kind of the best, I'm not going to lie.
It's a vibe.
I love this very much.
Okay, so we've done video pitches where we make a slide deck through Keynote, and then I'll jump on camera and I'll go through the slide deck while talking to camera. That's a skill set I've developed with being a YouTuber and talking to a camera, so I'm using that to my benefit. So maybe that's not exactly what you would do to pitch a client, but I tell you what, like if you use a really good color palette and include all of their brand's colors and maybe even their font, like doing little things that you don't even mention in the video where they're like, I've had multiple brands tell me in a video pitch, like, wow, I noticed the colors that you did. Like, we love that. And then I responded with, oh yeah, they're actually the colors from your website. Or like that font is actually your font. Like I'm showing you and proving to you that I am that, I'm noticing details like that and I'm implementing details like that, which is really cool. And they love that. And that's a really good way for you to stand out and start building a relationship with them. So those two things are huge. Building a portfolio that's going to impress them and pitching them in a way that's different than really anybody else would pitch them that's just going to get their attention. So, yeah.
Yeah. And we've taken that exact same principle as well and applied it to the way that we pitch our guests on Rallycaps,
right,
which we've talked about at length before. We've shared some of those videos. I think we've shared a lot of them in the Patreon, but I think we've also shared some on our Instagram just to give you guys a little look at the thought process that we have before pitching a guest and how we go about filming it and putting it together. So again, it's at the end of the day, I think this is just a foundation of Eric and I's businesses, just being intentional, being thoughtful, and having that kind of flow out of all of the actions that you take in the work that you do. Because people notice, people absolutely notice, and I think that's going to be the thing that helps you, just stand out a little bit more. Let's see.
I'm struggling over here so much with like the microphone back and forth. I'm so sorry, you guys. You can hear, let us know if you can hear both of us well. I'm sure you can hear me really well, but let me know if you can hear Steven, because I keep feeling like you can't hear him, and I'm like trying to get the mic as close as I can to the phone. So just like get it right on top of the speakers. Just let us know in the comments. Also, if you're just rolling in, thanks for being here. We have this janky setup because we couldn't figure out how to live stream in OBS with Zoom. So we're doing this instead.
It's a lot more difficult than you'd expect it to be. I promise it's not. We'll split the blame 50-50 with Zoom and OBS.
But it's a vibe. It's a vibe, and we're digging it, and we're embracing it, and it's fun. Also,
I got this great screenshot that you will definitely see on Instagram later. There we go. That's good right there.
Oh.
You see that, Eric?
What am I doing in it? I can't really like. Come here, hold on. Oh my gosh. with the square around my face.
The square and the cable. I feel like that's the epitome of today so far.
That's the thumbnail for when we post this live stream as a video to rewatch. I love it.
Baby's first live stream.
Aaron said audio's good and we don't judge. I appreciate you, Aaron. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It makes all the difference in the world.
Oh man, that's great.
Oh my goodness. Okay, cool.
Also, if you just if you are just joining in now, if you could like the live stream, that helps push it out to more people who are subscribed to us actually, because YouTube doesn't always recommend live streams to their subscribers, like people who, you know what I mean. So if you could like it and try to push it and comment and do all the fun algorithmic things to just get this out to more people, we'd really appreciate that. A big reason of why, tell them another reason why we're doing this live stream. This is exciting.
Right.
Oh,
this
man.
is exciting. So because we are in like a little bit of a mid-season, we're calling it the All-Star break right now because baseball references for days. So because of that, we're not uploading episodes weekly currently. We'll be doing that again in about a month's time. But we wanted to get some other stuff up on the channel because we are about 300 watch hours away from being able to monetize the YouTube channel, which is insane. Like it's crazy that we've gotten to that watch hour milestone, or at least almost have gotten to it so quickly, which again, just thank you to all of you for watching, for liking and subscribing, for actually making this a reality for us. So yeah, we wanted to do this live stream to kind of add like another candid like live episode of the show basically, and to hopefully get the watch hours up a little bit more. And then also for all of you watching right now, we're probably going to, on this coming Monday, actually give a little behind the scenes look at an episode of Extra Innings, which is what we do on our Patreon every week. We do a little behind the scenes episode. It's like an extra episode of Rally Caps, more or less. It's about 20 to 30 minutes long. It's just Eric and I talking, and sometimes we actually have the guest join for like an extra 20 to 30 minutes. And so we post all those Extra Innings episodes on our Patreon. If you guys do want to sign up, it's $5 a month. You get access to all those episodes. And I turn you into a baseball card. If you send me a photo of yourself from like Little League or a sport you played as a kid, I'll literally make you a Rally Caps baseball card. So yeah, that's another thing that we'll be doing soon. But for everybody, for the general public, we'll be posting that Extra Innings episode, just kind of one from the first season, onto the YouTube channel for everybody to access, just so you can get an idea of what those episodes are like.
This is really fun, Steven. Are you having fun? I'm having a lot of fun.
I'm having an absolute blast. I couldn't even care less. I if anything, the whole my whole deal on this right now is fantastic, and I kind of love it. Like it's hysterical, and everyone else seems to love it too, or at least they're telling us they do.
So, they're like, thumbnail. That's the thumbnail.
I'm having a great time, man. This is so much fun.
That's so
good. Actually, I kind of want to open it up to the people that are here right now. If you guys have any questions off top, please feel free to leave them. I know some people have already, but feel free to we'll just open up the floodgates a little bit. If you guys do have any questions, ideas, anything at all, just leave it in the little chat section on the live stream.
Please.
Love to love to talk with you about
I
that.
do.
Yeah.
I wish we had a good enough setup right now where I could just share my screen, which we might have been able to do if we got OBS to work. But also wanted to just share with you guys kind of the statistics that we have on the podcast already. Like we said, this is where we like to get all meta kind of with what we do here and sharing, like, maybe you're even interested in starting a podcast. Like, this is kind of what you could expect if you did something like what we're doing. So we wanted to make this into a YouTube first podcast, because ultimately if you start with video, you can just branch off audio in any direction, however you want. So first off, why not do video? Because then you could put it on other platforms. You could put it on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. And really kind of our idea and strategy of growth in the beginning is like, let's get some YouTubers that have some clout, with their name in the titles to push it with the algorithm and stuff. Also just being incredible guests who have faithful followings who might be interested in hearing what we have to say in interviews we have with people like them. So it is like what Steven was saying. It's really exciting that now we're approaching this milestone of being monetized. So if you have a new YouTube channel, you need to have at least 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. And we're literally like just over 3,700 hours of watch time right now. So that's a big reason why a live stream like this could maybe push us over that edge. Probably not. I don't know. We'll see. But with like 20 of you guys in here right now, if everybody watched for another hour, that would be 20 hours of watch time. And then we're also posting this live stream to the channel afterwards, and people will rewatch it later. So, and this is just kind of like, we're in that season where we would love to get over that edge before we start season 2. If you guys want to help us out with that as well, any episode you haven't listened to, just go back and listen to those episodes, watch those episodes, put the episodes on in the background. You could even put them on and put them on mute just to help us out, to get us over that edge to the 4,000 watch hours. We would greatly appreciate that support. And it's just, again, one of those milestones where it's like, even just one new patron on our Patreon made us go like, oh man, like, wow, we're monetizing this thing we started. Or,
Seriously, oh my gosh.
Once we get monetization on YouTube, it's another feeling of like, wow, that's some more credibility of like, we've monetized this thing that we've started kind of out of nothing, and now a potential sponsor or 2 sponsors. And it's like, it's just really exciting, and we're in that growth stage of business. So first and foremost, thank you to all of you to getting us to this point. It's been unbelievable what the response has been. And again, I want to publicly thank Steven for all of the hard work he's done to bring this to you guys. And if you could drop some love in the chat as well for him, just saying thanks for all the hard work he's put into editing so far, and branding and Instagram posts and interacting with all of you guys. Like, he just deserves all of the success in this. And yeah, just want to publicly say that, because you deserve all of that, Steven.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
Aaron,
Hey,
what?
love you forever.
Hey, love you forever, bro. That's our thing. If you didn't know, we always say love you forever
I'm
to each other.
blushing now. That's really sweet. Thank you very much. Seriously.
Of course, my man. Josiah said, I prefer watching the pod on YouTube rather than audio only, which is awesome, because we know there's people like that. And we know there's tons of people who aren't like that too. I'd say the majority of people just want to listen and don't want to watch. But I even love just seeing like guests' reactions, or even like their setup at home or whatever. It's just fun to get that element of, wow, seeing Samuel Elkins at his studio, or like Carrie in Sunlit Studios, and just like giving us a tour of her place. Like, all that stuff is really, really cool and is really unique, because you can't give a studio tour on just a podcast. You have to watch the actual visual version of that. We want to do more stuff like that in the future too. Like, how cool it would be to do one of those music bed artists where they perform live. Like, how much more interesting that would be to actually watch the video of the live performance. Evan said, how valuable is it to be able to offer both photography and filming to wedding and commercial clients? And do you find video to be more desirable these days? Yes. Great question. Yes. Yeah.
Can I let you take that one while I go pee?
P, yeah, go ahead. So I think it's highly valuable to let people know that you do photo and video. It's multifaceted in other ways too. It's not just that. Like the way Mike and I booked a huge commercial client this past winter was also because I was like, hey, I'm going to do a BTS video for my YouTube channel, and you'll just get extra marketing from that as well, because I'm going to show the commercial we made for you guys and the BTS of how we made it. So it'll just be more advertising. And that's for White House Custom Color, a printing house up in Minnesota. And most of my viewers on YouTube are photographers and filmmakers. So it lines up. So that goes into marketing for them and the strong brand that you have. I think you should always kind of be thinking about that. Like what other skills do you have that you could offer a brand or a client that's multifaceted that could sweeten the deal for them and honestly just set you apart from any competition you might have for the job? I think all that is really important. And even just like you could sweeten the deal by like, hey, this is what I offer for photo individually. This is what I offer for video individually. But if you book it together, this is the deal I could do for you. And it's a way you can negotiate as well, which is amazing. And yes, I do think video is just absolutely exploding right now. That's why I'm excited. We still do Rally Caps, and that's like a video first podcast, because we have the ability to relate to people on whatever, you have Instagram now. They basically announced that they're like pushing way more into video. It's like, well, if you want to keep using that as a place for marketing, then maybe you should start considering what a video setup looks like for you, or doing reels or whatever, IGTV, whatever that is. So yeah, I hope that answers that. Let's just fly through these questions real quick and then maybe get back to Instagram questions. Okay, so speed round. Ready?
Speed round.
Not speed round. Batting practice. Ready?
Batting practice.
Here we go. Okay.
Wait, where are we starting?
I already said Evan, so we're starting at Spencer's. Spencer says 1 tip each for my first video wedding shoot Saturday. Go, Steven.
I can't. Okay, 1 tip. First video?
Yeah.
Wedding?
First video. Hurry.
Oh my gosh. Always have extra backups of audio. Backups
Yep.
of audio.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yep. That's it.
Three backups of audio, bring a second camera, third camera, make sure you have that. And just have too much gear and rent gear if you need to make sure you have everything ready to go. Aaron says video so huge. I'm on the 3rd season of podcast where we started with only audio. Aaron, what is your podcast? I didn't know that. Go ahead, drop it down below. Which made introducing video later almost impossible. We'd rather retire that podcast moniker and start anew. That's awesome. Michael says, don't pull your mic too hard or Steven will fall down against the cord. You're right. I was not thinking about that. Okay. Michael says, we love you, Uncle Steve. That's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
There may or may not be a video DM waiting in Steven's IG DMs showing appreciation.
Wait, really?
Oh yeah. Aaron just said he sent that to you.
Oh my gosh, wait.
You gotta.
I'm so sorry if I missed that.
No. I think he said he just did it. I think he said he just sent it.
Okay.
Got
it.
Joe says, Uncle Steve.
I'm terribly sorry. Uncle Steve. Oh my gosh, Joe, thank you.
I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Kachik, I have a podcast I've been running, but sometimes have trouble finding guests. What's your process of having the guests you guys have so far? Go ahead, Steven.
The video pitches.
Video
honestly.
pitches.
Like that makes all the difference in the world. Just be intentional with however you ask your guests to come on, whether that's through a video, preferably a video, but video pitches, yeah.
And then we're also not going to shy away from the fact that I have a YouTube channel that has 100,000 subscribers, that I know people that are YouTubers, and that might not be the most relatable thing because I have relationships with some of these people already. We get that, we understand that, but how is that relatable to you? Like, what could you grow to get to be at that place or do something like that? Or what kind of connections can you make to get to be friends with someone like that who could introduce you to more people, more guests like that? I think that's where your headspace more so should be. Josiah says Minnesota represent. Sick. Way up north. Thanks so much. You're welcome, Evan. Spencer says thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Aaron's podcast is called, what is it? Oh, whoa.
Stellars, which is Dutch. Oh, wow.
Oitstellers. Oitstellers? Is that? Doubt you'll understand the word. Is it storytellers? Is that what it is?
That is funny.
Oitstellers. And are we saying it right? Please let us know. Josiah said, I heard the news about Insta going video, working on incorporating that into my workflow at my biz. Yup. it might be worth it. And Facebook is still a place where you can do tons of marketing. I don't do it there, but tons of people do. And Instagram, I think, will kind of follow suit, or it might not be the most popular social media app. Maybe it will, I don't know. But it could still be a very valid place to do marketing.
A couple more from earlier that we missed. How do we unwind after a long wedding weekend?
Beer.
Yes.
Run.
Yep.
Beer and running.
Beer.
Honestly.
Beer and running at the same time.
Beer and running at the same time.
Let's see. Joe says, I know you mentioned this in the past video, but how do you balance working your brand while being a parent? Great question for Eric. Oh,
and Steven. He's a cat dad.
That's true. I do have two. Yeah, college is going to be tough for them.
College is going to be I just want to make sure I'm reading it correctly. Balancing business with having a family, having kids. Was it? Yeah. Brand while being a parent. Yeah. It's intentionality. It's communication with my spouse. That's the best answer I have, is to constantly be talking about schedule. Even Steven just battled a little bit with Laura right before this call. It wasn't a battle. It was just like a misunderstanding that happens with me all the time. I got to witness it firsthand because we're in community together. But he was like, yeah, we're doing a live stream. She's like, you're doing a live stream? And she's like, yeah, it's been in the calendar. It's like, but, and this is where I always struggle. It's like, I put it in the calendar, but I shouldn't expect that you're just like going to read the calendar. I should probably like tell you that that's what's going to happen. But that happens a lot where it's like, make sure you put it in the calendar, but also talk about it. And then with that, you're going to set yourself up for success with time with your kids too. And have hard deadlines for yourself. Like do 9 to 5 if you need to do that. Like limit yourself with hours. Big thing that my wife hates is because she's making dinner before I come home from the studio. So if I'm running late at the studio, she's like, you need to tell me if you're running late. Like if you don't tell me you're running late and I call you and I ask where you are, like those are the worst phone calls ever. Right? I know she's calling and I'm like, oh no, I didn't tell her. She's like, where are you? And I'm like, I'm on the road. I'm sorry. She's like, when did you leave? And I'm like, 5:25. And she's like, Eric, tell me you're leaving late. So that's a constant struggle, and like, you just have to be intentional about that. Yeah.
Great. Love it. Benny says, I'm headed into my first year of podcasting, and it's been a journey for sure. Any advice or tips you've learned so far?
Steven.
Start with video if you can. It makes a huge difference, and it gets you on the world's best search engine, which is YouTube. But also keep it simple and just do whatever you can do to do it consistently. I think consistency is the key with a lot of things. With a podcast, it's no different. Be consistent, incorporate video if you can, and as soon as you're able to, have a teammate or a couple people on board to pass off more work to, which is what we'll be heading into very soon. So thank you for the question. Aaron says, any ideas on pitching collaborations with other wedding vendors like hair makeup people or clothing designers?
You want to take that?
Honestly, I mean, I'm just going to sound like a broken record, but I think, again, just like make videos. Like if you have specific people in mind, like go on their Instagram, their website, get an idea of who they are, what their personality is like, and then do something either funny or sincere, make a video of it, send it to them, and then pitch either like a photo shoot or a video shoot so you can build a piece in your portfolio. I imagine might be the angle. Or the motivation behind this. But yeah, again, just like intentionality, find out what makes them, make just a thoughtful and compelling pitch, and then, do some great work together. I love that. Okay. I think we're caught up with those. I'm going to come back and...
Yep. We'll do more Instagram questions, and we'll come back to questions in the chat.
Perfect. All right. So... Christine asked on Instagram, what are the emotions you feel throughout the process of creating, specifically before and after?
The emotions?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's a very interesting question. I love it. So first, when I first think of an idea, it's exciting. It's just like very excitable Eric. My parents used to call me as a kid, they used to call me Excitable Boy. And it was always like before we went to Disney World or whatever, or we went on any kind of trip, I like couldn't fall asleep. I was up at 4 a.m. I like couldn't contain my excitement. And that has, I don't know, it's kind of transferred into adulthood too. Like I have such a problem with oversharing all the things I'm excited about, so much so that like I feel like I have pretty good self-awareness in life in general, but that's the one thing I've come to realize, that I tend to overshare a little bit too much about the things I'm excited about and can't read the fact that someone else isn't excited about that thing as excited about the thing as I am. And I'll just like, but if there's someone who's close to me, like they love me and they'll listen to me, but in their head, they're like, I don't care. And so that's kind of my emotional process in the beginning stages. I'm very much in that attitude, like, oh my gosh, this thing is going to be so sick. I'm going to blah, 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 da, 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 da. And I try to let that kind of excitement carry into the writing process, where I write out a script usually. So if this is specifically for a YouTube video or a short narrative or commercial, whatever, the planning process, I'll let that excitement kind of overflow into the writing. And I'll try to spend a lot of time on that, a half day of work or a full day of work on just planning what that's going to be. And I've realized if I do that, it sets me up so much more for success, for making something I'm proud of, because then the execution just becomes so much easier. If you give yourself enough time to flesh out all of the thoughts you have on that topic, it's really rare that you'll find yourself in a position where you execute on the thing and feel like you're missing parts or feel like you're missing components, or leave or get to the editing process, get to the back end and be like, oh, there's this gaping hole in the idea or in the process or in the story. And so really taking that time. So in that time of editing and writing, in that time of constructing and editing, oh my goodness, constructing and writing and building, I'm still very excited. And if you're with me in that time when I'm doing it in the studio, I'm always just like, oh, listen to this, like listen to this banter. Like, let me read it to you. I'm always saying that to my friends. And then filming and doing the thing is always exhausting, because you think it's going to take a certain amount of time and it always ends up taking twice the amount of time. It makes the studio a mess, blah, 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 you know. And then the post process tends to be really frustrating, where it's just like, this isn't the way I wanted to look. You might get really excited about some parts of it, and like, oh, we're missing this, blah, blah, blah. And then it just becomes troubleshooting, where it's like, I'm not going to go back unless I absolutely have to build it still. But then once it all comes together and you fill all the gaps, then it's back to exciting. I don't know. That was a long-winded answer, but yeah.
No, I think it's kind of like that, like a little bell curve, but into a ditch instead of up. It's kind of like, honestly, that does seem like that's kind of the more standard, or like generally speaking, that's kind of the process of like, yeah, like Eric said, you start with excitement and then you get into the thick of it, and then things take long, things get pushed back. Editing is a chore, but after you get through that, you're like, oh, but like we're almost done. Oh, and then we just add this like one sound effect or this piece of a song or like this thing, and like you add like those finishing touches, and they're like little things that kind of like get you to be excited again, and then you post it and it's like this cathartic release of like, all right, like we accomplished what we set out to do.
Yeah. Even if it isn't perfect.
Yeah, even if it isn't perfect, which it never will be. No. So it's being okay with like learning about yourself, like how much you're willing to compromise on for the sake of actually publishing the things that you are making, which is something that I'm learning how to do better, because I really like things to be as close to perfect as possible with anything that I publish. So it is a very good skill to learn. And I do think there's a lot of value in that frustrating part, like the emotionally frustrating part of the process, because I mean, you saw at the beginning of this live stream, we were all over the place. We were trying to figure stuff out. It was like, it wasn't our favorite part of this entire thing, but that creative problem solving can lead to awesome things, where like now we have this really goofy story about the time that I was on a tripod on Eric's phone via FaceTime, plugged in through the microphone, and it's trying to pick up both of us talking at the same time. Like, it's just like, I don't know, like there are certain things like that just add character, and like if you're okay like releasing some of that like perfectionism type mentality,
it's funnier.
Like it can lead to some just like very honest and real stuff, and it's like very relatable.
It's relatable.
It's just kind of fun. So
before this was like, setting up for this was probably the most frustrated I've ever been with rally caps. honestly. Like, it was probably one of the low points of just being like, this is very frustrating. Like, I hate doing like trying to watch tutorials and troubleshoot how to use OBS and streaming. So out of my league, and I hate it. But then like when it's typical me, like this always is like what ends up happening. And it's like, oh, well, it's still a success. It's just funny.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
And now it's like, now it's one of the funnest things we've done.
Honestly, yes. Like I'm not joking when I say it. Like these candid conversations just between the two of us and with everybody chatting away and interacting is so much fun. And I think I can't wait to post that screenshot that I got earlier as like, hey, did you catch our live stream kind of thing? Or like, ask us how our first live stream went. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just fun. Yeah. Wait, okay, so actually, it was a good segue, Eric, from what you were just saying. You said this was maybe, the setup for this was maybe the lowest point for Rally Caps. Zell Tells had asked, what was the lowest point in your photography career?
Oh, man.
And how did you overcome it?
Shout out Zell. Zell won a giveaway on my channel, which was awesome, from Music Bed, like a bunch of audio gear. And we went on a run a while back. Lowest point of my career. I just answered this on a podcast yesterday. One of the lowest points for me was I had been decently into the process of building my YouTube channel, and I come from a teaching background. So I've had about a year of like decent amount of success on building a YouTube channel. And I went, okay, natural next step is getting an education. So I'm going to start doing workshops. And I got into, one of my first ones was a bunch of people on Instagram were like, come to Kansas City. I had like 16 people being like, come to Kansas City. We'll for sure sign up. Like, let's do this workshop. And I was like, sounds great. If 16 people are going to do it, like, hopefully I can book a dozen. And I was like, since that many people want to do it, I'll rent out a space. I already did, I put like a $300 deposit down, and I made it live. I blasted on Instagram, did the whole thing, and one person signed up for the workshop. And I was just like so frustrated and like, what have I done? This is so silly. It like was so defeating, felt so defeated. The next morning I got an email from her saying, I actually don't think I can make this work financially. Can I get a refund? And I was like, So it was like one person signed up, and that one person said, can I get a refund? And I was just like, okay. Clearly I'm not ready for this. And it was just this moment of reality hitting me. I'm just like, you're not what you think you are. And it was a tough pill to swallow for sure. And so that really kind of humbled me and really kind of changed like how conservatively I approach ideas like that, because I never want to feel that feeling again. And so that's probably why it's taken me so long to like really do a course or a workshop online. I've had other successful workshops in the past now. I've run like 3 with 20, 25 people in them. So it has worked and it will continue to work, but that's kind of my PTSD for doing that. And however that's applicable to you, I hope you can learn something from that. It's like, it's also just kind of how things go sometimes. Like, if you're not willing to actually try and see if something's successful, you won't. And I kind of felt that same way when we started a Patreon on Rally Caps. It was like nobody signed up at first. And I was like, Steven, are we doing this right? I don't know. Like, is it worth it to do the extra innings episodes? And now we have like a dozen. And it's like, wait, patience actually kind of paid off, and consistency is starting to pay off with like, wow, maybe that was a good idea. Maybe we can continue to grow this. So, yeah.
Yeah. Mine was called 2020. So that seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I could leave it at that, but more context, 2020, I think for a lot of people, for me personally, it was going to be slated to be the best year for my business. I was going to break 6 figures for the first time, which was super exciting. And I just had a lot of hopes and dreams. I was bright-eyed, bushy-tailed going into the year. And obviously it didn't turn out that way. And I think it's funny because, like, I don't know, it's hard to look back on something so devastating to so many people and be like, well, on the bright side. But if I had to find a bright side, personally speaking, I think what came out of it for me was a much broader perspective on what business is and what it could be, and how to better safeguard myself, my wife Laura, and our future family by diversifying the things that we did. The lion's share of my income was based in weddings and events, and most of those did not happen. So for me, it was very eye-opening, and I'm very grateful that I was able to survive that as a business, because it was very dicey at times. I was super depressed and anxious basically the entire year. And it was extremely, extremely difficult. And, even just stuff like getting a PPP loan and having that forgiven, 9 months later, all were like pivotal in allowing us to just like keep living where we're living even. So that was a very eye-opening experience, and I think it has led to a lot of like really good stuff now. I feel it's like I kind of risen from the ashes of that in a way, and I'm still a wedding photographer, certainly, but I don't plan to make that my main thing still going forward, which is why I was so gung-ho about like, hey, Rally Caps needs to happen, and here's the vision for it, or we should move to Chicago, and here's all the other things that I can open myself up to and do and expand my business with. So I that if I had to find any kind of rising out of that low point, I'd say that's what it is, and it feels great now moving forward. It feels a lot more stable and secure to just have a couple different avenues and buckets to draw from.
Isn't it so wonderful once you have different streams of income? Just the excitement of that.
Yeah,
Like
it's good. I think for any self-employed, artist, freelancer, whatever you're doing, whatever industry you might be in, as a creative or an artist, I think that's vital to just making sure that you're staying healthy, that you are, that your business is stable, and that you're going to have solid ground to continue building what you're doing off of. So, yeah, what a wild year.
I'm sorry if I was distracted. I went to go check our Patreon and realized my Patreon video did not post correctly, so I'm just troubleshooting.
No.
It's fine. We just made the whole write-up for it and didn't include the video, so.
Oh. I'm gonna draw a couple more from Instagram, and then we can get some of these other ones that are in the chat. Jam Tux asked us, M&Ms or Skittles?
Oh, Skittles.
Really?
Not even a question.
Really?
I'm fruity more than chocolatey all day.
Peanut M&Ms are my ride or die. They are
Peanut
amazing.
M&Ms.
Peanut M&Ms specifically. Yeah, a caveat. I do not like regular M&Ms, but peanut M&Ms, like, awesome. So good.
They're fine.
Don't listen to Eric.
They're
He's distracted right now.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm troubleshooting a video.
Colin very kindly asked, "Why are you so awesome?"
Aw.
What a guy! I'm excited. I want to meet Colin one day. I hope that happens.
Who was it, Colin Steingard?
Yeah.
Aw.
What a guy.
I love him.
Let's see. Alex Mo Photo asked, "When's Eric getting the R6?"
Ooh. Soon. Both of my 5D4s, both of my 5D4 SD card slots are like busted, so I'm sending them off on the 18th. So I'll probably just buy 2 ARC6s like next week, I'm guessing. Yeah.
It's so good.
That reminds me, go to mpb.com is a great place to get used gear. Not
Yes,
sponsored.
yes, it is.
That's where I'm
Nope.
looking right now. I like the vibe of just like
It is great.
I kind of want to just like do live streams. This is how Rally Caps was first. What's the ideation of Rally
The
Caps
inception of it.
was us doing work and just FaceTiming like this. And we're like, hey, what if we started a podcast where we just talk while we're editing? And
Yeah.
it's kind of full circle with this kind of episode, doing a live stream like that. It's really fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I forgot about that. That was fun. I remember we like did like a soft run of that. I think it was like December of 2019. So like a year and a half ago is that first idea. And I so vividly remember we were like, yeah, let's do that. And then we were on a call for like 3 or 4 hours just editing weddings, but like talking so infrequently because we were both so zoned in on what we were doing. We were like, maybe we can't multitask to that level.
I know.
If we had a ton of stuff to like cull, I feel like we could do it. Like something more mindless, but yeah, certain editing tasks require a whole lot of focus. Yates Productions, very timely, asked, how do you feel about your first live stream? Pretty great.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
It's a live stream. It's working, sort of.
It's more of a vibe stream right now.
It's a vibe
right?
stream. That's the best. Yeah, that'll be the title then. Be like, Rally Caps vibe stream.
It's a vibe stream. Let's see.
Hold on. Let me.
Oh, yeah.
How about I should have started talking while I was. I'm not ready yet. Go ahead.
Oh, you're not ready? Okay, cool. Last one from Instagram then. We'll do, can I provide for a family on one income as a creative? Do I need to freelance to pull it off? Do I need to freelance to pull it off? I think you can, can I provide for a family? Okay, so one income as a creative, provide for your family. Eric is certainly doing it right now. Mm-hmm. He's got his fourth kid on the way in September, so he's absolutely pulling it off. But there's also a significant portion of the beginning of his business where he was grinding very hard as a full-time teacher and wedding photographer. And I think he would probably agree that he was spreading himself too thin at that point in time, and it was insane. So, like Eric has already said, slow growth is the best kind of growth. And I think it's certainly possible to provide for a family on a single income as a self-employed artist. However, it might take a couple years of having something stable and then developing your freelance gig on the side until it is reliable enough to just put all your time into that.
Yeah. It was the podcast I was on yesterday. I was on Ben Hartley's podcast. He's a wedding photographer, educator, and I just talked about how I'm more of an advocate of teaching people to have a season. This is what we talked about in Carrie's episode, where it's like it's perfectly fine to have a season of being really uncomfortable, so that you build something, and then you can then profit from it later going full time while like trying to balance the two jobs. So really just getting to the breaking point where it's like I can't handle both and then switching to the full-time endeavor. I think that's a really healthy way to go about it. Like it's a really unhealthy season, unfortunately, to do both of those things, but just doing it with the self-awareness and knowledge of like, this is just a season, and really carving out your time intentionally for your personal relationships and making sure that those are still, you're still committed to time for those in the craziness. Like you're still taking time on the weekends or in the evenings to at least carve out like 2 times a week where you can spend with your spouse or your boyfriend or girlfriend or your family or your best friends, Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's see. What other questions do we have?
Wait. I wanted to shout out all of our patrons who are on Patreon.
Oh, yeah.
We have, and I guess Jacob Padilla, Tim Sauer, Michael Hancock, Braxton Wallace, Mark Spooner, Ben Ramondetta, I think is how you say it. Andrew Kang, Luke Aikson, Aaron Bile, I think, BJ Matthews, Corey Nadell, Tommy Mayhew, and Jimmy Brinley are all on the Patreon, and we just want to publicly thank you all for being on Patreon. like we said, we do the extra episodes there, extra innings, which are super fun. So thank you to all 13 of you who are there now. And we hope you enjoy it. We hope you like the extra innings episodes. I didn't realize that there were comments on the last one, which is funny, where we talk about stonks, right? Yeah, meme stocks.
Oh, yes, there are. Yes, that's right.
And
wait, you also nailed Aaron's last name. You got it.
Bile?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
People never get my last name right. Literally, why I'm bagel online everywhere.
Oh, that's
There we
awesome.
go. That's awesome.
Oh,
Well
that's
done.
okay. I didn't realize that was the same Aaron. Okay, that's awesome.
Yep. Yeah. And here, I just want to pull up a quick, just as an example, as well. We've got these beautiful patrons. I don't know if you can see.
Are you doing a phone inside of a phone?
This is a phone inside of a phone, baby.
Okay, let me try to. It's gonna be out of focus. Oh my gosh, I can't. I can't.
Yeah, don't even try. It's okay.
Is that Andrew's? Andrew's baseball card?
Baseball card. That's just the little design that we're using, and we made for our patrons. So we want to throw your photo in there, give you a little baseball card. I think Josiah asked earlier. He was like, "Do the baseball cards have any cash value?" I think.
Do the baseball cards have any
Trade-
cash value?
Or like trading value or something. They're not an NFT, if that's what you're asking.
Not an NFT, but maybe if you have a dedicated
maybe
phone.
eventually.
Yeah.
Who knows? We'll see.
I'll drop the Patreon in the chat if you guys are interested in checking it out and signing up. It's just $5 a month. So.
Yes, sir. Come on in. The water is fine. Plus, I can't reiterate enough. I love doing the baseball cards. So please give me a reason to make more of you into baseball cards. It's so much fun. Let's see. Oh, Josiah actually asked a question. Oh, we heard that great story about kicking a wine glass at a wedding. That was on Mark's
Oh
Spears
my
episode.
gosh, that was so funny.
Hysterically funny. What's your embarrassing moment you encountered at a wedding? I think I know yours, Eric.
Embarrassing moment?
I think so.
Oh yeah, I have a really, really embarrassing one.
Okay, yeah.
Do I say it now or what?
Yeah, because I can't think of one right now.
Did you see Michael's comment? He said, I printed my baseball card out and it's on my desk.
No way!
Yes.
Oh my god.
That's epic. That is so sick.
Incredible.
I love it.
That makes me so happy.
Michael, DM us a photo of that, please. We would love to see that.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Okay. I got a little new situation here. Wait, did you just ask a question? Another question?
No, just the embarrassing moment.
Oh, the embarrassing moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's actually video footage of this. I've shown it 2 years in a row at Venture Workshop where I emceed. And so I was like, I was getting down on the dance floor and it was really late in the day. And the groom was like into videography. So he kind of like ran up to me and was like, hey, let me grab the camera real quick. And I'll film you dancing. And I was like, yeah, of course. Sick. And so like I started busting a move and then like a circle forms and I'm like going crazy. And then the crowd's just like going nuts. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like soaking it all up. I'm like, yeah, cool videographer. And I did gymnastics in high school. And so I thought it'd be a good idea to do a standing backflip in front of everybody. It was like, it's always been my party trick. And I was wearing really tight pants that day and I was just finishing a 10-hour day and I sent the backflip and I landed on my face for the first one. Yeah, I did say first one because I was like, wait. Everybody, because everyone just went like, oh! And I'm like, okay, all right. I messed up. All right, let me redeem myself. And so I sent another one and I fell even harder the second time. On top of that, the groom was filming the entire thing. So there's actual footage of this happening. I'll probably just, at some point, post it on my YouTube channel. Because we wanted to do, maybe we do that on Rally Caps. So we said we were going to try that, Stephen. Remember when we were in New York? We were going to do storytelling, all of my crazy, unfortunate circumstances.
Yes.
Because I have a lot of them.
Yeah.
I have a lot of them. Maybe I share a few more right now. Just let us know if you want me to.
Your travel stories are unbelievable. Do you want to share the most recent one?
Yeah. This is what triggered the idea. This is what triggered the idea of doing this whole like storytelling hour because I was filming a wedding in Western Massachusetts in the beginning of June, and Steven is from Boston. So I was like, hey, Steven, like, you know, months prior, like, why don't you just be my second shooter for this wedding? Sounds great. Cool. Hey, what if we went to New York beforehand? I just fly in early. We film a Rally Caps episode with Ryan Brown. We chill and hang out in New York, have some fun, and then we'll go and shoot the wedding in Western Mass. We'll go upstate with your parents in Albany, and then I'll fly out of Albany. Bing, bang, boom. Awesome plan. Cool. I pack 5 bags for this trip because it's all of my video gear. It's 2 C200 cinema cameras. It's lighting. It's like, I have a suitcase. I have a Pelican. I have a projector because they wanted us to project a slideshow. So all this stuff, I'm literally look like a psychopath walking into the airport with all these bags. And I got there plenty early, and it was a 6 a.m. flight. And I get up to the front desk. So when I was planning for this trip, now in Chicago, O'Hare just started flying Southwest. They started letting Southwest flights in O'Hare, in and out of O'Hare. Normally it's only Midway that Southwest flies in and out of in Chicago. So they started doing, and it's way more beneficial for me because we've always lived on the northwest side where O'Hare is. And so I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll just book my Southwest flight at O'Hare instead of Midway this time. I'll save myself time in the morning, especially since it's such an early flight. Little did I know, I get up to the counter and the lady's like, I'm not seeing your confirmation. I'm like, what? Why? And she's like, let me see your confirmation. And she literally just points on the confirmation. It says Midway Airport. And I was just like, oh, okay. And thankfully it was just like 4 days before the wedding. It was fine. But I'm like, great. Okay. Well, can you put me on standby? And she's like, I could, but it would be a layover like in Nashville. And I'm like, okay, well, is there any direct flight like today? And she's like, no. And I'm like, she's like, they're all booked solid. I'm like, great. So she's like, you could try to go to Midway and just tell them you missed your flight and then they could put you on standby. And I'm like, is that a good idea? And she's like, no, because basically it's the same deal there. Like we could only do standby with connecting flights. And I was like, okay, cool. So I like go down into the lower level because I'm like, all right, I guess I'm just going to go home now and try to figure this out. And I'm looking up other flights with other airlines and everything is like 4 times as expensive. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. It's 6 a.m. I'm just going to drive to New York. And so I told Steven that he was planning on picking me up at the airport. So I just got in my like old CRV and decided to send it. And I drove all the way to New York and that's what I did. And it was fine. I just listened to like live streams the entire time and some music, and it was honestly incredibly relaxing. And then we just used my car for the trip, and then I had to drive home at the end. And yeah, it ended up killing my car. So my engine completely broke after that trip, and I had to get a new car. So that's cool. But because of that trip, I found a new YouTube channel. My friend Rob built. He's now a friend of mine because I like binge watched all his videos on the way home, and I was like, dang, this guy's impressive. I'll put his YouTube channel in the chat right now. He's for sure going to be a guest, and I'm very pumped about it because he does Airbnb listings and rentals and like how to do all of that, and that's something I've been very interested in for the past 5 years. My wife and I have always been interested in doing something like that because she's an interior designer, and we could just have a lot of fun buying and redesigning a place and marketing it and all that stuff. But I just linked it in the chat, Rob built. He's about to break 100,000 subscribers. I commented on one of his videos and I was like, man, first video I've seen of yours and I love you. And he's like, oh man, I love your videos too. And I was like, oh, he knows who I am. And so we started DMing on Instagram and we just had a FaceTime call like a week and a half ago. And it's just really fun to like start a relationship hanging out like online with this guy. We're probably going to meet him in person sometime soon. He's in Tennessee. And I could very well see myself collaborating with him in some capacity, or us obviously if he is on the podcast, but me even personally and starting something Airbnb with him. It's a possibility. He basically left that conversation very open-ended at the end. So I was like, something that could be very life-changing in the future off of a very unfortunate circumstance. That tends to be how things go for me a lot of times. So yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun phone call to get at like 6:30 in the morning. I was like, it's Eric. I was like, cool.
Oh.
Steven, I've made a terrible mistake.
I've made a horrible mistake.
You've seen Arrested Development, right? No?
Yes, but I
Okay,
didn't get it. I'm
Joe,
sorry.
I've made a huge
Oh,
mistake.
yeah. There's always
That's
money
all
in
I
the
thought
banana
of in
stand.
that moment. Oh my god.
Okay, Steven, let me do some math for us now. Oh,
Do some math for us,
I don't
Eric.
have my phone because...
Just use your head. It's very powerful.
Yeah, okay.
You got it. Yeah.
So it says that we've had 215 playbacks on this live stream with an average watch time of 9 minutes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
times 9, that's
fine.
almost 2,000 minutes.
Okay, divide that by 60.
Sorry, I just divided it by 2, which is dumb. I don't know why I did that.
I'm okay with that being the amount of watch hours that we got.
That's 31 watch hours right now already, Steven.
There we go. Y'all are the best. Y'all are goated. This is amazing. We're getting there. Slowly
Y'all,
but surely.
y'all are the goats.
Y'all are goated.
That is over 10% of the remaining watch hours we need to be monetized. And
I actually think this is going to be a very fun episode to watch back also.
Yeah.
Just to live on the channel. I think it's going to be great.
just like put it on in the background. It's going to be historic. It's going to be a historic moment in our podcast history.
Yes. Historic and hysterical. I did get one update, and it made me happy.
Yeah, it did like a very big reversal is what it did.
Yeah. Yes. My whole body released tension, which was good. Because, boy howdy, was that a rough way to start the day.
Yeah.
It was not great.
We're both decently heavy invested in AMC stock right now, so it's very anxiety inducing every day when it goes. It's been going down a lot recently, so it's good to see that it's doing a little bit of a rebound. On that New York trip, I panic sold 100 shares, and it was really embarrassing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna in real time make the thumbnail for this episode also.
Oh, I wish I could see that.
I do too.
Tell us what you're doing. Describe it. Give us a play-by-play.
Alright, so, wait.
Oh,
not gonna be a
that's
good
not gonna
experience.
work.
That's nothing. That's not good at all.
Just use your writing abilities. Use your author abilities to just.
Should we talk about reading after this?
No, don't go there. Don't go there.
Definitely not. So here we go. Ready? So I'm in Photoshop currently. Y'all have seen Photoshop. You
Yeah.
guys like Photoshop?
Photoshop's a
Great
thing.
program. It crashes less than Premiere does. Not a high bar to achieve. So basically, took a screenshot that I showed you guys earlier of Eric and I. It looks absolutely hysterical, and I love it. I think it might be my favorite photo that we've taken together, as if it was a choice that we had. And I'm now adding just a little bit of text on top of the photo, which is in a little 1920 by 1080 format, because that's the size that you use for YouTube thumbnails. Just got a little template made, and I'm just going to add a little text in our branded guideline font that we have for Rally Caps, and we'll probably call it like live stream, our first live stream.
Vibe stream.
Our vibe stream.
Just
Yep.
across. Just be like vibe stream.
Vibe stream. Yep. There we go. I'm going to just center that text up. And y'all get to see this, obviously, at the end. But I'm
should
also, I'm
maybe-
gonna put it
Post on Instagram or something, Instagram story.
100%, and they'll see it on the episode later.
Right.
So first, I'm going to add vibe stream. Beautiful. I might even add a little text above it in a smaller variation, just as like our first.
Our first vibe stream.
It's super weird.
Aaron
not gonna
says
lie.
if the font isn't Comic Sans, I'm going to be slightly disappointed.
Dang it, it kind of has to be almost.
Vibe stream and Comic Sans.
Oh wow! I mean, that's got crust all over it. I think Niles and Caleb would be proud of us for doing that if we did.
Crusty.
That is crusty. So I'm gonna add that our first vibe stream, because that implies that we're gonna do more of these.
Yeah. Oh, we will. Oh, we will.
Oh, definitely. And then actually, legitimate tip that is very helpful for thumbnail making, especially. I think one of the most powerful tools that you can use within Photoshop when you're making thumbnails is the gradient tool, and adding a gradient on top of the photo, but underneath the text. So that way it adds, basically, like if you're in Lightroom, you can add like a graduated filter and like darken, you can like burn part of the image and just make it darker on one side. It's basically what we're doing here, but we're adding, you can choose a color from the photo, make that the gradient, and then it just helps the text pop a little bit more, but it still looks cohesive with the photo itself. So instead of adding like a color block behind it to make it stand out, you can make it, it feels a little like a more artistic way to like keep things feeling vibey, of course, but also like legitimately make it more legible, because if you just threw the text on there without anything underneath it, a lot more difficult to read. And if we're trying to get people to click on this, they need to read it, so on and so forth. So adding a little gradient underneath the text, super, super helpful.
I just had this thought that this live stream is full circle for me, because one of the videos I made in junior high, I couldn't get it to export out of Windows Movie Maker. Like, literally could not figure it out. But it would play back the entire project. So the entire project would play back start to finish on the computer, but I couldn't get it to export to a file. So I pulled out my camcorder and I filmed the screen of...
You're joking.
I'm not joking. We filmed it. I made a new project. I converted it into a file, and then that was my project.
Oh my gosh,
No.
That's amazing.
We actually converted it to VHS, I think, and then I played it VHS at my school because there were still VHS players in the classroom.
That's incredible.
And obviously the sound and the visual was horrific, but they still appreciated the edit.
That's amazing.
And I feel like right now this is just the 2021 version of that.
It kind of is in a lot of ways.
Yep. It's definitely higher quality.
Yeah, which is nice. Here we go. Okay, there we go. Thumbnail made. So that way, as soon as we are done with this, we'll post it to the channel, add a thumbnail immediately. We're cooking with oil, baby.
Cooking with Crisco. That's what Trey says.
That's what that is.
Trade says.
Trades.
Cooking with Crisco, baby. Jalen said, is he making a thumbnail? Yes, he is. He just finished it, I think. Aaron said the janky setup also stays for the next vibe streams, right? That's what I was thinking. It's like, even if you are here, you're going to go to the other room and we're going to FaceTime, and this is how it works.
Wait. Okay, if this is our thing, this is just our live stream deal, that would be amazing.
No,
I would not hate that at all.
I love that this name came up now, because if literally any live stream we do from now on is going to be a vibe stream.
It's a vibe stream.
And we will do more for sure.
Oh, this is amazing.
Josiah said, how many times do I need to watch this to get you there? To get demonetized? Man, just in
A loop.
a loop. You could loop. I think YouTube stops counting with analytics, because we tried to do that with the Eric and Mike channel, and it just it felt like it plateaued after a while. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did not get monetized. But we are so close. We are under 300 watch hours now. rapidly approaching only 200 watch hours left and needed to be monetized.
And again, just for anyone who might be joining soon, we've talked about a lot of stuff so far. One of the things we touched on is Patreon and the things that we make over there. We are going to be posting one of those Patreon videos on our public YouTube channel this coming week. So if you are interested in checking out an episode of Extra Innings, we will also have that coming up because we do not have brand new guest episodes for the next month. So we will be posting one of those Extra Innings episodes. Not sure which one we're going to post yet, so it could most likely just be Eric and I chatting about the time that we spent with our guests. But we do have a few episodes where we have had extended conversations with our guests after the official episode is done, so to speak. So yeah, we'll have something out for you guys this coming week as well, and a little truncated clip from that later in the week too. Just trying to chase those 4,000 precious watch hours. Okay, thumbnails. There we go. Last year's thumbnail.
Boom.
I know if I show it on my phone to my laptop, it's not actually that great, but I kind of want to try a little bit just so people get the gist. This is precious.
This is getting very, very meta. Like,
Very meta. That's so funny. I love it. That's incredible.
okay, let's I say we answer like a handful more questions.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, if there are no more in the chat, we've cruised through all of
The Instagram ones? Okay. I think it's
up there.
probably a good time to wrap it up then. We're right at 1
I
o'clock.
think so. Yeah, great. Hey, thank you guys for watching.
This is,
Thanks for
yeah,
being with us.
this is so much fun.
There's still 17 of you here.
It's wild that there's as many people as there was this whole time. We love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting us and having a blast. Please send us messages on Instagram if you have any follow-up questions about anything we said. I think that's the best place to reach us. Tweet at us. We'd love to grow that Twitter account if you're on Twitter. And yeah, if you haven't listened to any episodes yet, feel free to dig back through the library. There are 21 of them to listen to now. Yeah, 21?
Yes.
So,
Full episodes and like another 21 clips from those episodes. If you want to just like get your toes wet with a certain guest,
yep.
watch a 3 to 4 minute clip with them. Tons of stuff up there as well. And this entire live stream is going to be recorded and put up for public viewing on the channel as well. So if you joined late or you just missed the first half or whatever it may be, you'll get to catch up on all this later on.
Yeah. Liar, liar, harp on fire just came in and said, I came late. So that's good that you just said that because we will.
there we go.
We'll be posting the whole thing. So if you want to
Yeah.
watch it all, please do. We would love for you
Yeah.
guys to rewatch this or watch other episodes to try to get those watch hours up so we could get Steven paid for all the editing he does.
And if not, we're excited to have some sponsored episodes coming up soon.
Yep.
Ooh,
All right.
good stuff. Thank you guys. Thank you, Cappers. Appreciate y'all. I hope you're enjoying your All-Star break as well. And we'll catch you guys in season 2 of Rally Caps coming this August.
We love you forever.
Love you forever.
See you guys.